Chris here and welcome to my review of the Ecovacs Deebot N8 Plus. As you can see, it's got a docking station. So what this does is suck out the contents of the main dustbin and collect it into a rather large bin here at the top, which will last for Ecovacs claim for 30 days. It is removable and this has a filter and it's all sealed. So once you take it out, there's going to be no dust or anything going all over the place. Now this vacuum itself, this one can last for up to 110 minutes of cleaning. It has precision laser distance mapping with this, a mopping function, 2,300 PA of suction performance, and a 3,200 milliamp hour battery. So in this in-depth review, I'm going to go over the design, the build quality of this, the application, just how it cleans, and then my pros and cons of using this Deebot N8 Plus here for the last 2 weeks. And yes, just wanted to point out a small disclaimer that this was sent out to me in exchange for this review. So aside from the docking station and the vacuum itself, we get a microfiber cloth that is washable. There's a user manual, spare bag for the dock dustbin. This is 2.5 litre capacity. Some disposable wipes. We get the 2 side brushes that you need to just clip on, and our power cable for the dock. The N8 Plus has their true mapping 360-degree laser distance mapping. Now they claim that this newer model here has a detection range that is now twice as good as previous models, and accuracy has increased 4 times. There is the power on button, and that's not actually the main power on button, that's under here. So there's the main one right there. We've got a button to connect up to the wireless. This is our QR code to scan for the application to connect it all up to your router. A tool right here, which is the brush, and there is a cutting tool there too to get the hair out of the main brush. So you can remove this if you wanted to do so. You don't have to use the auto suction station, but the idea is to use that, of course, but you can still pull out this dustbin. The dustbin capacity with this one is 240 milliliters. Now it has a 3-stage filtration. So we have the filter right there. These are all washable parts there. There's an inner sponge, and they do have this net over the front, which is rather handy to have because a lot of the dust, instead of getting right into the filter, will be just stuck on that outer part. If you've owned these before, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about because the filters that don't have that, it can be a real pain to clean. At the back of the N8 Plus, you will find the exit vent there, so that is where all the air is going to be blown out after being filtered, of course. And here we have the water tank. So this one has a capacity of 420 milliliters. There's just a little rubber tap here that you need to pull off to fill that up. With the front of the vacuum, we have the slam sensor, and that's just a sensor that when it bumps into things, there are rubber, this is all rubber around the outside here, that it pushes in, triggers a sensor so it knows it has hit something. Although the mapping should know exactly where it is with that. Right here is an infrared transmitter. That is when it docks into it, so it can see the distance and then get itself to dock into that. And the auto suction, of course, will pull all the contents of the dustbin into the main dustbin. On the underside, you'll find the main brush, the 2 side brushes, the 2 contact points where it charges. This is a 360-degree removable wheel. These main wheels here have a rubber tread to them, and they are suspended, so there's a suspension there to adjust to the different levels of the floor. The main brush does go up and down too, and you can see 2 points here. So these points here are where the auto suction dock will then just suck everything out of that, all the dust particles and things. Now you can easily open this, of course, to take out the main brush and give it a clean, and I will show you the design of it. We have the sweeper and then the bristles with this. So the rubber sweepers and those bristles, and it's 2 different layers. So we've got a softer outer, then a harder inner layer there with this brush. And all around the outside are the downwards firing fall sensors. So not Hall sensors, which are magnetic, these are fall. So what it does is transmit, works out the distance. So if it sees a step, it will not end up going off that. So exactly the same as other robot vacuum cleaners. Over to our application that you pretty much do need to have. Now you can just run the vacuum by itself, the robot vacuum, just push the button to start it. However, if you want the best features out of it, customize a lot of things, your different mopping, no-go zones, you do need this. So very easy to pair up, and it runs you through it. The app runs you connecting up to the robot vacuum and then to your router to set it all up, and the application is just called Ecovacs, and you can get that, of course, in your Play Store or your App Store, depending on what phone you're running. So we have, of course, a straightforward map here that it's mapped out with its laser distance mapping. The lines telling us where it has been. And I intentionally have done this, that the battery's not full, so it didn't finish. It didn't finish its job, so it's gone back to fully charged, and then it will continue automatically. I could hit play now to start the auto clean mode. You can do zone clean modes too. And I could do that to get it to continue and finish the job. So this right here is to empty the dust bin, so it can just vacuum things out into the main dustbin that has in the dock, of course. Cleaning preferences. So that's the vacuum power. I keep it on standard because I mostly have tile floors around. When it detects carpet, it will then increase the suction power to maximum, which is our 2300 PA. There's different levels there, different mop levels. And of course, this one's very, very handy to have, especially if you have a lot of cables in areas you don't want a robot vacuum to go. So you can set up a virtual boundary, no mop zone. So the boundary can just be a straight line, or you can set up just a zone. So if I don't want it to go here, I've got cables under the table, then you're able to do that with that. So it is straightforward there. So other options. Right here we have the advanced mode, the suction boost, which is that carpet boosting mode. Auto empty, when it goes back to the dock, you can keep it on or off, depends on if you want to use that or not. But if you bought it for that, then you would probably have that on, of course. Schedule, do not disturb. Continual cleaning is when it goes back to charge itself if it cannot finish the job. Now the runtime should be around 110 minutes. And onto the cleaning, just how has it been for the last 2 weeks here? So like the other 360-degree mapping robots, it will go all around the outside of a room first. So do a bit of a clean first so you don't have any toys and obstacles and things in the way. So it does the outside first, then it starts to zigzag, and that is how it gets pretty much like a 94 or 93% coverage is what they claim, and it seems to do a very, very good job, especially with the hard floors. Now with carpets, and mats especially, if it's a mat that has various different levels to it, which this one does that I've noticed that it will leave in some areas where it dips down a bit in the level of that carpet, a few little bits of fluff and lint and things. So it will need a second attempt to do that. So its strength, carpet, I don't think really is the big strength of this one. Now, if you have very tall carpets, I've got up here in the studio for soundproofing reasons, I have quite a thick carpet and it struggles a little bit with it. It does better than the Deebot T8 at the carpets, which that one I found to be quite poor. It will do it okay, but it will slow down a little bit, and it did end up getting itself jammed in my office chair, which if it was a hard floor, I don't think that would have happened. The carpet was inhibiting it a little bit, and those side brushes tend to get a little bit stuck around it there. It will end up picking up toys and things like that, so you get a notification on your app there to say it is stuck, that it needs to be freed, or there's a problem, or it needs a sensor cleaned, or something like that, if it runs into issues, that is. And you'll hear it, it's munching away on a toy, and I ended up opening it up and you can see that there. Bits of threads and things will eventually get tangled up in the main brush hairs, that is all kind of normal. Now the best thing about this one, of course, is the auto suction docking station here. Now I'll give you a sample of just how loud it is. It gave us all a bit of a shock to start with, because it is about like 10 times louder than the vacuum itself. So here's what it sounds like when it does the empty mode for the docking station. I actually turned down the volume of that a little bit just for headphone users out there to save your ears, but it's super loud. It does that big blast. The good thing about it is though, it does empty the tank in here. There was nothing left behind. It did a very, very good job of cleaning that right out. So no bits of here, we're gonna block it up and end up causing problems of it not emptying itself. Over the 2 weeks of testing this out, I haven't had an issue with it blocking at all. It will just suck everything out, and it's almost full for us. So 2 weeks, I think, is my limit here. That's a household with 4 people, with animals as well, and long hair everywhere. 2 weeks. So Ecovacs does say it would last 30 days, but of course it really depends. 30 days for, I think, someone by themselves with a smaller house and that don't have animals, then it would definitely be 30 days for that. What about the vacuum itself? How loud is it? So on the standard mode first will be the sample I'll give you, and then it goes over the mat, the carpet, which ramps it up to the 3200 PA, and it definitely sounds a little bit louder, but overall, it's not that bad at all. This is one of the quietest so far robot vacuums that I've tested in the channel. Alright, so all up, the Deebot N8 Plus here, it does an excellent job And hard floors, sweeping and vacuuming those. Carpets I would rate as being average for the reasons that I explained before. The mopping as well is average. Now, if you want a better mopping robot vacuum, I do recommend the T8 from them. The T8 AI VI, that has an oscillating mopping function on it, and that basically scrubs the hard floors and does a proper job. That one cleans really, really well if you need that. The station here is great for it to be able to run for up to 30 days without you having to empty the main dustbin. But as a con, it adds to the price, of course, and the noise of this is a little bit loud. And then you do need to buy the replacement bags. You only get 2 bags. One's already installed, and we have a separate one in the box, as I showed you. So thank you so much for watching my review here of the Deebot N8 Plus.